Last week in round number 7 of the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series, it was Nick Johnson that came out on top of his Project 2 teammate in Florida. But this week we head down south to Martinsville, Virginia to the half-mile paperclip, known as Martinsville Speedway. Welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finney and Acuna tonight for the 8th round of the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. And Finney, we've got 175 laps, and this place is elbows out, bumper to bumper for the entire night. Keep yourself out of trouble, and you might just survive the night. But I'm not convinced that it's going to go as smoothly like that for some of these drivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I mean, we've set our all-time caution record on with 24 cautions up this very track. So I think, trying to stay out of trouble is going to be a really hard thing for these drivers to do, because trouble a lot of times is going to end up finding you. So depending on how these 20 some odd guys are going to handle this track, it's really going to be up to them. It's going to be a lot of giving and a lot of taking.
A lot of giving, a lot of taking. We have qualifying underway at the moment right now. Let's head down to the racetrack because last week's winner is currently on provisional pole. His Project 2 teammate, Mitch Welker, came up just shy in 2nd place last week. But taking a look down the order, he's only 5th in qualifying, but Zach Buchanan, another Project 2 car, is 4th best. So qualifying still underway, and we have a tie in the points lead right now, and it's Thomas Bresci, who's tied with Nick Johnson at the moment for the points lead.
You see Bresci take a wide line. He's setting up for a good run out of turn 4 to just got that much faster on the lap. He's going to start his qualifying efforts here.
So down to the turn 1, Fields right on board. You're in 4th gear the entire night here, or not. Shift for Thomas Bresci. So some drivers going to be downshifting into 30 and a bit more torque down here. But this is a half-mile short track. There's a nice big curve on the inside lane, and they're going to get run into. You're going to be running into people tonight. So 175 laps. How do you keep yourself out of trouble, and how urgent do you make your run to the front?
Well, you have 175 laps, and that's not terribly short. That's a decent race distance. I mean, if you start in the back, you definitely got some time to work with and work our way to the front here. So, I think it's going to require a lot of patience. A lot of these guys are going to be bottom feeding around this track. It's almost known for it. We joke with the term getting Martinsville, just going around the inside. If you get shoved out of line, you're going to go back 2, 3, 4 positions. So it's definitely going to require some patience and knowing when to make an opportunity. As we saw Bresci come across the line, and he ended up, where did he go?
P12 right now in the 24 car, so maybe not as well as he was hoping to qualify. We've got just shy of 30 cars in here tonight. Tyler Hensley on track qualifying at the moment, as well as Sim Motorsports driver Casey Lakatos in his number 50 Toyota Supra. And I think most drivers that have not qualified are not going to make an effort. Riley Thompson has not laid down a lap, neither has Filarski, Wilco, Herring, Odell, David Mott Jr., Christopher Matthews, Kyle Westwood, and a whole host of others. So we've got about 17 drivers on the board, and the rest of the field going to start at the back and try to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, and I'm curious if you're going to see anyone to jump out last second here. You're going to probably want to jump out with 40 seconds remaining minimum to at least get one time to lap in.
So I am sensing that the drivers that are qualifying at the top of the board probably were shifting. Do we think we're going to see this throughout the race, and will this pose a problem?
I don't know. I can definitely see, helping the shifting to get that nice run off the corner. I can't see for long run pace. I don't think we'll see these guys doing it, especially too, you talk the bumping and the banging. If you're going to start hitting people in 3rd gear, you're already seeing these guys start to spin the tires coming out the corner to the back and getting sideways as they're trying to plant the power down. If you get hit while you're doing that, or just tapped by given a little nudge, your car's going to go spinning out. So I'm not sure if we'll see these guys run in 3rd. We might see a few, maybe at the start of the run, they might start shifting down into 3rd. Maybe I think as the run goes on, we could see them just keep it in 4th, especially to preserve their tire.
We saw it at Pocono, and it was the drivers that were more comfortable with it were doing it more. And the drivers that were more comfortable shifting are typically the drivers more comfortable at road courses. So we're going to see if that rings true tonight as well. So gridding process underway. And again, we mentioned a lot of drivers did not make a qualifying effort. We'll start towards the tail of the field. There's Zach Buchanan and his Project 2 car, the Dodo Airlines Supra. That's a nice looking color blue that he's got on the 40 this week. And then his teammate behind him, Mitch Welker, will roll off in 5th tonight in the Sun Country Airlines number 76. He came up just shy at Homestead last week, and he was really satisfied and happy with that run, just to turn things around after a disastrous Pocono. But he's had a really solid season, still remains pretty high up in the point standings, and I think he'll be a threat to win tonight if he can just stay out of trouble.
Yeah, he's currently listed 3rd on the points, 60 points behind leaders Johnson and Thomas Bresci. So he's trying to keep his eye on those guys tonight and see if he can try to close that gap back down.
All right, let's take a look at our weather information here tonight in Martinsville, Virginia. And it's 78 in the air, 102 on the racetrack, wind 2 miles an hour out of the north, partly cloudy skies. It's just a beautiful day for racing here. But that track temp is probably going to rise when the race. You already see the rubber line down on the concrete patches on the inside of the groove. The darker that gets, the hotter it's going to get, the slicker it's going to be.
I'm also intrigued by how very fine the line is too in some parts. You know, I'm not sure if this is really just due to the changes that they made to the way it's getting put down, but it's a very small line. So that's showing that a lot of guys are following the same particular line, not a whole lot of variation on entry down to these corners.
Yeah, and actually, if you take a look at the line, like as you mentioned, it's actually really where the right side tires are that you're seeing that rubber get laid down, even on corner entry. So I think there's a lot of stress on that right front tire. I think tires are going to be very important tonight. We're going to have to keep an eye on wear as well. So let's head down to the front straightaway and get a look at our starting lineup here tonight, Finian. On the front row this evening, it's going to be the number 28, Nick Johnson, and Chad Simpson in the 46 will roll off on the outside of that front row.
Yeah, good start for him. Then it's going to be Colin Fambro in the 5 car next to Zach Buchanan in 4th.
In row number 3, Mitch Welker in the 76 was 5th last week, 5th tonight to start. Zach Passon rolls off 6th tonight.
Yeah, nice to see Zach Passon back on the grid. Jared Dixon going to be starting in 16th and 7th. Will Roberts next to him in 8th.
In 9th place, Kyle Lamb, and Casey Shue rolls off in 10th in the number 4.
In Pistorius is going to line up at 11. He's going to be starting next to Thomas Bresci, a little bit buried around midfield. And back in 13, we got Liam Sheen in the 96 and Travis Christian in the 93.
In 15th, Andrew Cardinale making a return to Fuel Cup Series action. Joel Holloway rolls off 16th in the 66.
Back in 17, you find Brian Chambliss in the 25. He's going to be starting next to Tyler Hensley in 18th. Casey Lakatos in 19th in the 50. Next to Riley Thompson, 21st in the 58.
Well, the rest of these scroll on the bottom of the screen here as we get ready to go racing. We got one more lap before we're going to turn them loose for 175 laps. And only a couple drivers left in this row here. So we just got almost 30 drivers lined up for the night. You look perplexed.
Isn't it reversed? Shouldn't the inside be on the left? I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. I don't know.
You could be right. I don't know. I haven't studied.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It started for it was first and second, and then it switched somehow. I don't know how I did that.
Well, who knows?
I was like, I ended with 21st. But no, that's weird.
We're coming to the green here in just a moment. Up in the front, you mentioned the 28 car Nick Johnson, winner last week. He's going to roll off in first place tonight. 175 laps from Martinsville, Virginia. You're watching Sim TV. Time to bring the racing. Green flag flies, and we're racing at the paperclip. First lap complete. You see, there's, I think that was Don Runkle Jr. pulling over to the inside, or another car that was slowing down. Way slow. No, that's Jared Dixon. And the number 16, Steve Herring, hits pit lane here early. But so far, so good here as we complete lap number 1.
Jared, yeah, Dixon almost came to a stop heading down his turn 1. That was brought out of caution. He was going so slow. But looking back at Buchanan now fighting with Simpson. Simpson dropping like a rock. Mr. talking about that outside lane is not.
Oh, stacked up crash in the front straightaway. Around goes the 25 of Brian Chambliss, and the caution is out on lap number 3.
He literally got driven through, and his car all torn up only 3 laps into this race.
That car is all smashed up, front, rear, sides, and destroyed. And that is so frustrating this early in the race to have something go that wrong.
The entire back end. I don't. Oh no, yeah, it's just crumbled up. It's significantly shortened back there.
Let's go back and take a look at exactly how he got himself in here. There was a car that got in the wall, I think, in front of him. It was the 22 car of Andrew Cardinale right here. He's just going to catch the wall, and that's what kind of slows up, and he gets just absolutely slammed by the 66 car of Joel Holloway.
Yeah, first it was Hensley in the 44, and then the 66 Holloway just kind of finished him off, running on board with him right now.
Oh, it drove straight through him, Finian. Didn't even lift.
Yeah, I don't know. He got really lucky that he phased through. I don't know if he was planning on that.
Yeah, and that bothers me a lot. I mean, granted, I don't think he could have done much anyway, but he didn't even at least make the attempt. So yeah, I think last week we saw an issue where I think it was forgive me.
Which track? What, the track? Or?
No, the driver that drove through the accident on the front straight at Homestead, Randy Bader Jr. Got a penalty for what they call ARCA braking, which is typically kind of a derogatory term. But that, I mean, that wasn't even an attempt to slow down. So I do hope that we see a penalty for that, because that's a little bit silly. But all right, caution out on lap number 3 tonight as we work lap number 6. And talk about Martinsville cautions. The SimTV caution record is here at this racetrack. It was 24 caution flags set back a couple months ago by the Outsider Racing League. We saw 23 cautions with this very group, the Fuel Premier Series, at Southern National a couple weeks ago. I don't think we're going to get there tonight because this is a pretty short race. I think ORL had 225 laps, but caution on lap 3 is going to get us started.
Yeah, so the amount of laps we have, again, a grid, I really doubt we're going to get anywhere close. We might have quite a few, but I don't think anywhere close to 24. But at the rate they would need to go at to try to even get to match it, just break even with it, would be average of a little over 7 laps, or caution every 7 laps.
Well, so far so good.
Yeah.
All right, so back up to the front. We're likely to see a restart here on the next lap. So Johnson, Colin Fambro in the 5. He snuck up here into second place after starting in 3rd. GoPro livery on that Supra. Then Mitch Welker from 5th to 3rd. So inside lane going to be beneficial. Here I see Fambro going backwards, Welker going forwards. Buchanan's going to restart next to his teammate. And I think if we see teammates on the front row, we're going to see maybe a little bit of teamwork and have the leader choose the outside lane.
I don't know. I think we might see the inside lane. Taking the outside's a bit risky here. And I think what they might try to do here, and we're going to see Johnson and Welker line up on the inside. I think they're going to try to communicate a jump, and that'll open up a hole for the forward to pull in. I imagine.
Right. So I think what's going to happen is if we see any of the Project 2 cars or any of the other teams share the front row, they might choose the outside, have the inside driver pull forward, or lag back, and it'll probably be what we typically see at Martinsville. So time to come to the restart here on lap number 9. Our first restart of the night. It's Johnson, Fambro, Welker, Buchanan, and Will Roberts, your top 5. Green flag back in the air here from Martinsville. A nice clean restart for the leaders as they pull away. And Will Roberts actually looked like he tried to let the 40 car in, but nope, they're going to run side by side off turn 2, and there's a hole in line. Meanwhile, the 81 car of Kyle Lamb has the 4 of Casey Schutt, his inside. Bit of a bobble back there. There is Hayden Pistorius on the outside lane with McQuistion, his left side, as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, Pistorius is going to duck in line, try to defend that spot. It looks like Hensley, though, is going to force the issue up the inside. Pistorius is going to give some room. He's being a bit courteous early on, looking at Bresci, getting around the 81, is going to clear for 8th place.
Yeah, and again, he's tied in the standings with the leader of this race right now, so he needs to get back up to the front if he wants to lead laps. But the 81 turned hard left on the corner exit and has a run to his inside, but now tucks back in line.
Now McQuistion going to peel off, have a look down to turn 1, force the 81 out of line.
Oh, it was the 81! And still green, more trouble, and it's a roadblock in the exit of turn 2.
And somehow we do not have a caution.
We're going to stay green here with cars stopped. All right, we'll keep rolling. Johnson, Welker, Fambro, your top 3.
Officials blind, or at least the iRacing officials blind.
They wouldn't be running manual cautions tonight, are they?
No, I don't think they are. Unless they have an admin, I don't think they usually the series does it. They usually just kind of let it off to the automatic system.
Well, it did spread the field out quite a bit, so that might buy us at least a couple more laps. There's David Mott Jr. in the number 10 car. That's a great-looking Tabasco-sponsored car here tonight, 26th to 17th in the early going.
Yeah, and David Mott actually posted his paint scheme because he had to redo the template because of the new Mustang body. And I gotta say, that nose definitely looks really nice.
I love this Mustang. It looks awesome. And riding on board, Tyler Logan right in front of him to get a good look at that new nose on this car.
It looks so mean now compared to the old one.
Yeah, the old one was just kind of shoved on there, but now it's a proper Mustang now. Head back up towards the front. Fambro's got Buchanan, and they want to make it a Project 2, 1, 2, 3, and Buchanan's right on the rear bumper of that 5 car.
Yeah, trying to get his way on by I almost said Project Cars again. I almost made the same mistake last week.
What'd you say?
I almost said Project Cars again.
Oh, Project Cars.
Yeah, I made the same mistake at Homestead. But
I didn't really hear it. We got our sound cranked up really high, so...
The Project 2 cars are lined up 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th, so they're doing a really good job at the moment.
Liam Sheen having a good night so far. Started 13th up to 11th. He's got Tyler Hensley tucked in behind. He's 18th to 12th, plus 6 for the 44.
And mostly single file at the moment. I can really do that pseudo caution, I guess. It was a crash. And so again, still bewildered the fact that we didn't get a caution for that. Well, that's spread out the field quite a bit. The 40 Buchanan still trying to work on Fambro. Fambro doing a good job defending for 3rd.
Gotten right to the rear bumper of that 5 car, unable to go anywhere with it. But now it's about how you treat your tires. Look at the 40 exiting lower off the exit of the corner, trying to build a run on the 5. He's gonna have a look up the inside, drug that left rear, or left front tire rather. You saw a bit of a tire mark left on the pavement back there in turn 3.
And even on exit 2, he's a bit sideways trying to get back on the gas, but is definitely within attacking range of the 5 at least.
Riley Thompson in the 58 and Casey Lakatos in the 50. They're trading spots for 13th place. Look at the 58, slides up the racetrack, locking that left front tire.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen a paint scheme of the 58 because he sponsored the Indy Elite and he changed teams in both series. And that paint scheme, his IndyCar paint scheme looks fantastic. We'll love to see it on the stock car, but still going with just a flat carbon fiber finish.
Well, again, in sim racing, a lot of drivers kind of they run the sponsors that they want to run. Some drivers, and this is very strange, I never understood this. Some drivers like to look like the underdog and like to run with a plain car. I never understood that. I know Joel was always like that, where he loved how simple, plain, flat, black cars were, and always ran them. I never understood that. I want my car to look cool.
I was gonna say,
Thompson back in 13.
It is kind of funny when you have a chance to choose literally any sponsor you want to.
You choose nothing.
Choose nothing.
This is for 11th spot. Hensley going by Liam Sheen. And Riley Thompson going to try to sneak up underneath there as well.
Speaking of the unsponsored underdog car, trying to throw it up the inside of Sheen. They're duking it out for 12th place.
And Sheen's going to leave the hole open. And, oh, it gets so tight down there at the exit of turn 2.
But these guys giving each other quite a bit of room.
And lots of room being given so far. We're actually pretty deep into a green flag run now. So now I'm curious to see what the tire wear is going to be like. And I think a lot of your tire wear is going to be dependent on how much you slide your tires on corner entry with blocking.
And since we were talking about shifting earlier in qualifying, I'm curious if we can throw up the telemetry. See, how many guys are actually shifting. So Chad Simpson in 4th.
So I'm thinking that you're going to probably stay in 4th most of the night in race conditions, but on a late race restart, you might consider shifting. Let's try to board with Mitch Welker. Seems like everyone is in 4th gear right now.
This is kind of more or less what I was expecting.
Our high in turns 3 and 4, that's Steve Herring.
Yeah, he's gone 2 laps down.
Whoa, Riley Thompson almost pancaked the wall out of turn 4. And Buchanan's still working over this 5 car, and he's been a little bit quicker, but he's being pretty patient so far. And I think patience is key here in Martinsville. He'll get by him eventually.
Yeah, again, we got still 150 laps left in this race, so very much far from over for this event.
Big slip for the 5
right here. I think he's waiting for Famer to keep on doing this, just overcharging the corner with him in the mirror, so just waiting for him to make a mistake.
And leader Nick Johnson has caught lap traffic, so that's going to bring Mitch Welker. This is looking so much like last week with Johnson leading and Welker in 2nd place as we complete lap number 25.
And if I'm not mistaken, too, I'm pretty sure, it was Johnson that's won 3 of the last 4 races, looking to make it 4 of the last 5. So he's on an absolute tear right now mid-season.
And he's been pretty patient here. Was 3/10 slower than his teammate following Kyle Lamb in the 81. And right in front of the 81 is the 16 of Jared Nixon. Both these cars were involved in an incident right after the restart. And now struggling to go a lap or to stay on the lead lap. Now they're going to fight this, Vinny, and they should fight this because if a caution comes out, you want to be on that lead lap. You don't want to have to rely on the free pass. And there will be more cars going a lap down later. So you want to keep yourself within striking distance of that free pass position. So they're going to fight tooth and nail for this, and it's going to slow Johnson down quite a bit. Again, he's still 3/10 off as Welker closes in.
I think he's just kind of waiting for an opportunity to present itself here. He's got his team right behind him. Imagine these guys are going to try to work together as much as possible. They don't want to, upset the order of things, potentially wreck one another out. They worked really well at Homestead, remember last week, to the point we saw Welker and Johnson actually exchange positions so that Welker can get a lap led and then gave it right back.
So you know why I think he's doing this, Vinny, is that Kyle Lem's actually running a Project 2 car here tonight. So Johnson's going to be eating up some of this lead to keep this 81 on the lead lap as much as possible in case they get a caution. So they're definitely working together here between this 81 and the 28. You see the similar fonts on the door and the Toyota Supra badge. But they are bringing Fambro right back into this mix in the 5 car. Now, is Fambro part of the group? Looks like he is as well. So it's just a Project 2 super team at the front of the field.
I'm trying to count. We got a Discord message. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then maybe 10 and 11. So half the field is on one team.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So there's, okay, now you see the 28 to the inside of the 81, and he can't linger here forever. They've got the top 5 spots swept right now. The first driver not on the team is Chad Simpson in the 46, and there's Thomas Bresci, the 24, back in 7th, but they're all losing time following these slower cars around.
I was going to say, I was looking at Framber, I'm like, wait a minute, since when has he driven a Supra?
There is a lot of Supras in the field tonight.
Again, because 11 guys are supposedly on one team.
Or at least working together.
Yeah.
There's Will Roberts. He's got the 46 in behind him. Back up at the front now. I mean, you got teammates all lined up nose to tail. I don't think they're all on the same page. They're probably going to fight here a little bit. That probably explains why Buchanan's been so patient.
Yeah, it looks like if patience is worn thin. Well, not really worn thin. I guess they decided, not waiting is enough. Caution's not going to come out, and they're all kind of stacked up on one another.
And through they go. So Johnson will continue to lead and complete lap number 33. And they're going to go on by their number 81 teammate. So Thomas Bresci, the first non-Toyota in the field, and he's back in 7th place in one of those Chevrolet Camaros. The first Ford Mustang, we got to look all the way back to...
It'd typically be Fambro, but actually
no, it's... I think the first Mustang in the field is David Mott Jr. back in 19th place. And one of the only Mustangs in the field, there's the 22 of Cardinale, who's in a Mustang, and it looks like Steve Herring's also in one.
So all 3 of them right together. Severely outnumbered by Chevys and, more importantly, Toyota. I kind of enjoy, but...
it's funny, we always talk about the different manufacturers and how typically in most stock car leagues, the Toyota is the most underrepresented of the bunch, but it seems like lately in pretty much every series, it's Ford that's been getting the shaft.
Ford's been getting quite chapter, which, I don't particularly like Ford, but that's just me.
I didn't like them before when they had the boring Mustang, but now the Mustang looks so cool, I don't know why more people don't run it.
As you say, I like the Mustang, it's the only thing I like from Ford. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But anyway, working lap number 37 of 175. This race will complete itself in 48 minutes. If we keep going at this pace, let's run on board with Bresci as he chases 6th.
He's not, and more importantly, right ahead, he's got Will Roberts and up ahead as well. And there you can see Buchanan further off as they're doing with the 80. Roberts, at least, is dealing with the 81.
And Chad Simpson driving for Spark VR, again, that virtual reality arcade in Connecticut. It's such a cool concept that they have at Spark VR, virtual reality, and they've had a massive presence in the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Elite Series, and now in the ERSCA with Robert Hill Jr., and in Fuel with Chad Simpson here in the number 46 Toyota Supra.
Simpson running pretty strong so far today. Would have been stronger. He started far up to the front, up in 2nd, just on the outside of the first row. But has trickled back, and it really was due to that initial start. He just wasn't able to get to the inside line. Then we had that caution come out, and he hasn't really been able to gain much since he's on the back of Will Roberts now.
And Thomas Bresci sees the hole open to the inside in turn 3, but he's going to be patient and stay in line for now. That yellow curb on the inside lane, hard to avoid fitting. If you hit that, it totally messes up your corner.
Yeah, it really does. You want to, you want to run right up next to it, but not on it. It's a really hard thing to do. You really need to, know the limits of your car. That's that way you can run just up close enough to the point where you're not even straddling, again, just cresting it, but you don't want to go over because it just ruins your lap.
41 laps complete here at Martinsville Speedway, and again, you're watching Sim TV with the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. And Casey Shu and Travis McQuistion trading spots. This is for 8th place. McQuistion's having a pretty solid day here in the 93 so far. Started back in 14th. He's gained 6 spots to 8th. And right in behind is Hayden Pistorius, and then a couple more spots behind is Riley Thompson, 21st to 12th, in that very blank and unsponsored looking number 58.
He's been moving his way up the order quite a bit, potentially some more spots here. He's got a bunch of cars up the road.
And so much patience, and typically later in the race, you're going to see people diving up the inside and shucking the car deep into the corners, locking up the brakes. But right now, everyone's kind of settled into a run, and no real urgency that I've seen out of anybody so far.
Yeah, that's what's kept us on this green flag run here, just approaching 50 laps.
It's for Matthews, the 92. Under attack now from David Mott Jr. in the 10. God, that is a cool looking car.
Yeah, it is. Ooh.
Getting a really good look at the brand new Mustang headlights right behind us, Andrew Cardinale, who we haven't talked about a whole lot. He's a lap down right now after being involved in that first collision, but that is a great looking car, minus the bumps and scratches that it's got. But the Whiplash Media number 22 Mustang rolling around in 24th spot right now.
Yeah, you'd be hoping for a lot better. He's got a long ways to go to even get to the car that's the first lap down, the first car lap down.
I can't tell if the logo on the hood is actually glowing, or if that's just an effect in the paint, because it looks like it's really glowing. It's that day glow or the day glow green.
It's like the animated paint scheme that iRacing was joking about. The April Fool thing. Gotta say, that was pretty cool. Like, if they were to actually have it, I wouldn't be mad. That would be kind of cool in a way.
Yeah. So Chad Simpson is back up in 6th. Bressy's still back in 7th, but it's a Project 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are Supras at the front right now. And Nick Johnson has led most of the laps so far, and looks like he's going to continue that way. He is the quickest, one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. The only one faster last lap was his teammate Mitch Welker. There's Calvin Filarski in the 2 car, who has gone a lap down.
Yeah, it's currently the first car a lap down. When they see David Mott up ahead, he's going to be the next car to go a lap down.
And he's 4 seconds back from that number 10 car. You can see them battling in turns 3 and 4, and then coming up onto the front straightaway. There's Johnson again. And battle for third. I'm surprised that Kevin hasn't been a little bit more aggressive with this 5 car, considering third place gets, whoa, look at him slide on corner entry. Third place gets you a much better restart position.
Yeah, well, granted, I guess, this is part of the thing, you're all on a team, you want to work together. So I think if they were not together, it would be a much different story. Fortunately, they have 9 to 11 cars under the roads. Can you imagine that? I think Jack Roush would have loved that, because I think the highest we've seen was, what, 6, right? They had 6?
No, it was 5 in 2008.
Oh, it was
and they got all the cars in the chase, and NASCAR said, no. And then they implemented the 4-team limit, which for a little while was a good thing, and now it's just kind of turned into a bad thing, because teams are limited, and teams have extra money to run more cars, and they don't do it because they don't have the ability to. And it also makes running rookies more difficult, because you can't just enter a 5th car.
Yeah, can we just see, so we see the B teams, like we see F1.
Oh, there's 66 and Joel Holloway and Tyler Dolger. Elbows out here in turn 4, and look at that, that's the 69 car. I'm trying to see who's actually in that vehicle tonight. I don't see 69 on the timing and scoring, so it looks like it's Zach Passon in the 19.
Oh yeah, it is Passon. Nice.
So they're getting all pretty racy, because look who's coming here, Finney. It's the leader closing in on this big string of lap traffic. And not all these guys are Project 2 teammates. We're going to see a lot more bumping and banging as people get aggressive here.
6 cars all nose to tail here, so Johnson's going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to, I'm not sure how easy these guys are going to pull over. It looks like Cardinale is going to...
Well, he's already a lap down, so I don't think he has any reason to fight these guys.
He's thinking it really easy. He's going to go way out of the group, give room to Welker.
And we'll jump back up to, I think it was David Mott Jr. who was next on the chopping block. The 92 of Christopher Matthews, Joel Holloway, Passon, and more. And this is dangerous for the leaders, because if these guys start to race and get themselves into trouble, the leader will be right in the middle of this group.
Yeah, this is 15 on back with Dolger leading this pack. Johnson in the Milwaukee Tools car trying to work his way on by.
Oh, look at the Passon trying to turn up underneath Tyler Dolger on the front straightaway. And he'll have a look down on the inside into turn 1.
Passon's going to try to drive away from his teammate. One of his teammates being leader Nick Johnson.
Lap traffic is part of the deal here in Martinsville. It's a little bit less deadly than it is at places like Bristol, where the corner speeds are so much higher and things go wrong so much quicker. But still, Johnson, this is a sketchy time right now.
I do think due to that, though, is definitely lap cars have the potential to get more in the way. Granted, a lot of the lap traffic we see so far has been cooperating fairly well.
Yep. There goes Johnson through. Whoa, look at the 76 chucking up the inside, and he'll use that and gain a couple tenths on his teammate. The next car on the list is Christopher Matthews in the 92, who's had a pretty slow start. Only gained 4 spots from 22nd to 18th.
We have a chance of seeing potentially the top 15 going a lap down. Or, sorry, the 15 going a lap down. There you see Johnson back up the inside of the 92.
Again, whether that was on purpose or not, I don't know, but Matthews drove in a little bit deep. Crash in the front straightaway. It's John Wilco in the 62.
Whoa.
And they're going to be 3 wide. Welker's going to get squeezed here. He's going to go middle of the track as Wilco dives for the apron to get out of the way.
Yeah, that's what happened there with Wilco. Who cares if he got looped, because he's got quite a bit of damage to that car.
Running the Disney Plus 62. Good looking paint scheme on this car. Just throttle up a little bit too much and caught the wall, and still no caution. I'm surprised by that.
I think the race officials are out having a drink or something.
Clearly. So Christopher Matthews is going to lose a spot to David Mott Jr. Come back up, Tyler Dolger and Joel Holloway next on the chopping block for the leader.
And the gap's kind of strung back out. The pack's kind of dissipated a bit here. As he passes driving away from Dolger.
Right to the rear bumper of the 66, and clearly the patience will run out eventually.
Yeah. I don't think Johnson wants to give up too much of his gap. He's got to Houston get back to Buchanan.
Well, Zach Buchanan's actually gotten by the 5 car. So that puts him in 3rd place now. So through some lap traffic, Forty was able to take advantage of it and go on by. There is Johnson through Holloway, and Welker's going to follow through. And Welker's been doing a great job using the holes that the 28 opens to slot himself through and gain a position on those lap cars.
Yeah, there's more vision for both these guys just trying to stick together.
Exit of turn 2, working lap number 63, and there's the 88 of Tyler Dolger, who has not really had the greatest of seasons, and this is true the last few seasons out. It's been a little while since we've seen this 88 have some good luck and some good runs. So tonight, he's running 16th. If he can just stay on the lead lap, but whoa, he's going to actually let the leaders on through. Johnson and Welker go by. That puts only 15 cars on the lead lap as we work lap number 64. And maybe thinking about pit stops in the next 20 or 30 laps, we have seen the times drop off about a second from the start of the race.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do the math here. So around lap 82 is where lap 82, 83 is going to be where we're going to halfway. I can imagine you're going to see a lot of guys just come in there, maybe a little bit after, just give some overhead, maybe around lap 90.
AC Shu in the number 4 is right behind one of his teammates in the 44. 10th to 12th, he slipped backwards a little bit. Liam Sheen having a pretty good day. Hasn't really gone very far, though.
Yeah,
now, he is in danger of going a lap down here within a couple laps as he is getting kind of chased down with the rest of the field.
Granted, though, looking at the gaps, I mean, position-wise, yeah, he's in a fairly close start. It's only Sheen, Licata's passing on the lead lap. But he's only 11 seconds behind the leader, so he's still got half a lap between himself and Nick Johnson.
We'll see how quickly that time ticks away. We've had a long green flag run, been green since the restart on lap number 7.
Actually, the interesting thing, too, is these guys are all running really similar times. And the fluctuation throughout the majority of the field is looking at the top 13 guys. It's maybe, they're all within a tenth of each other.
Joel Holloway had some contact with the 88 down into turn 3. Let's go take a look at that.
And Belger smacking the wall on the front straightaway.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was the contact here or we just caught it just after. Here's another look. Coming down into the corner. Just a slight tap, sent the 88 for a bit of a slide. Some frustration, maybe just a slight mistake for the 66. David Mott Jr. right back in this. This is a battle for 16th position, a lap behind a leader, but still just as intense as ever to get that free pass position.
That can mean a lot, really. And Mott's got a decent car underneath him, driving pretty well, so he could potentially work on by and be in that spot, and that's going to be key for him. And actually, up ahead, Gannon's got all the way back up to Welker.
Yeah. Mustang sounds nice, too. Not quite as grunty as the Toyota, but it's a little smoother sounding. A little bit high in turns 1 and 2. Christopher Matthews going to make the hard left underneath. Try to gain a position. Mott will leave the space and drive it a little bit hard.
Opened up the door on exit a little bit, but he's able to drive on by and keep the spot from Matthews.
Chad Simpson, Thomas Bresci, and Travis McQuistion.
Yeah.
Up into 8th place. He's had a good night so far. 14th to 8th. He's been there for a little while, but how is caught the battle for 6th?
Actually, McQuistion's been having a fairly good season, all things considered. He's currently 4th in points. He's had a string of top 10 finishes, so he's been doing pretty well for himself.
Got back up to 2nd place because Zach Buchanan has caught his teammates for the top spot. He's been one of the quicker drivers the last few laps. And we're closing in on 100 laps to go, and Buchanan's kind of overdue for a race victory here. Welker's gotten a couple wins in recent weeks, and I think Buchanan's turn at this point. He's been running too well, but not grab one. Travis McQuistion off the timing and scoring thing. I'm not sure.
Oh,
he's back.
Okay. I was gonna say, man.
Oh, Buchanan, big slide in turn 1. Just a look at that. This is out of control down here. I thought this just after corner entry, but again. Got in behind the 76 and oh, big catch.
Good save.
Did a great job saving that car. Still knocking on the door for P2.
Yeah, the top 3 all right there on screen. 1, 2, 3 immediately in behind each other. Only 7/10 separating them.
Oh, he's in hot again.
He's been throwing it pretty high, and I think this is just a difference between the way they've been driving. Buchanan's been braking a lot later than Walker. Walker a lot more conservative entering these corners.
He's just, wow, he's charging the corner so hard, but he is making time doing this, so I think he'll keep doing it. Question is it wearing out his tires and brakes more so than the drivers in front?
I mean, I wouldn't, because, I mean, you got the leader right there. He really is trying to pass Smoker.
He left a tire mark down there in turn 3, so he's certainly dragging the left front.
Because I wouldn't necessarily see, if there was like a straightaway between himself and the leader, sure, I'd definitely start to push, but you're only like 1 turn away. There's Johnson right up there, so, you know, I would just, you know, save my stuff, maybe run a little longer on this run, or even short pit, you know, just keep the tires good for that.
It's in a good spot if we get a caution. We'll restart on the inside.
And here's where we're going to start to see guys dive on a pit. We're approaching the halfway point in this race in about 5 or so laps time.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, we see the 76 lose. I'm not sure that it's really going to matter where these guys are in position with each other for the restarts, because they're all teammates. I think they'll all kind of cut each other brakes.
I'm not even accounting for a restart. I think we might honestly see this go. I mean, we've gone green for so long. Could see this go green all the way.
You have a lot of faith. When it gets out of the end, we're going to see some moment.
Granted, the officials are still on their drinking break, as they have been so far, missing 2 complete spins. I think we have a solid chance of going green. And I am curious who we're going to see as the first car down on pit road out of the 3, because I think who's ever first on a pit road, considering how close they are, I think that's going to be our leader.
Working lap number 78 of 175. We've been racing for about half an hour, and we still got another 35 minutes to go. And the 76 a bobble into turn 1. I think he's feeling the pressure a little bit from his teammate. Look at that.
Walker's actually backed it off a bit. He was running about 4/10 behind Johnson's expansion was 9/10. And Johnson, Buchanan working around the outside here. I think Buchanan's going to be probably one of the first guys out of this group to come down, because he's looking pretty aggressive, wants to get around the 76, but can't.
Yeah, 4-wheel slide at a turn 4.
And he is also starting to struggle on the tires too, in comparison to the other 2 guys.
Yeah, I think that's really the concern, is he's been driving so hard the last couple laps that he's going to start burning his stuff up. And charging the entry is going to warm up your brakes as well. We haven't seen them really glow yet because it's daytime, a little harder to see that. But if we were in the nighttime, I think we'd see some white hot rotors on the number 40 of Buchanan.
At iRacing, Martinsville night, please.
Yep. There's Liam Sheen and Casey Shue. This is side by side for 12th. 96 getting by the 4 car. Nice. That's a great looking scheme on the 4 car as well. The matte black with the metallic red.
Dual outdoor gear.
Fitting. Thomas Bresci has been stuck in 7th for a while. They're negotiating some lap traffic.
He hasn't really gone a whole lot of anywhere, and yeah, as they're working on by, this hasn't really changed much for these guys.
Yeah, he started up jumping from 12th to P8, and then gained 1 more spot and has pretty much stalled there. So
he's been in behind Simpson for quite a while now. They've lost a decent amount of time. They're 7.3 seconds behind the leaders.
I would have expected him to climb a little farther up. You see Will Roberts struggling on tires.
He's actually looking like he might get passed by Simpson and others in behind here if they start to open a door, because they're all nose to tail here. Whoa, speaking of nose to tail, McQuistion gave a little bit of a tap to the 24.
And Bresci's had drivers in the back of his motor. A big slide in turn 3, get a bobble at the racetrack, and here comes McQuistion to take advantage.
Just ticked over halfway in this race, so I imagine, you know, if I'm Bresci, I'm coming on down. He's really struggling on the tires.
Now, last time by was about 4/10 off the pace from where he was the previous 2 laps, so really struggling with hot tires and hot brakes. And you see the tire again locking on the left front. There's Pistorius going through some lap traffic. He's got his ex-teammate, Riley Thompson, right behind him in the 58 Camaro. Oh, the 24 Bresci got the wall there in turn 4. Pistorius has also had a driver in the back of him earlier tonight. We don't see enough damaged noses. Look at the 24 still sliding through 3 and 4.
I think so. It's still Bresci that it is not a Formula Drift event, because he's just letting the back end hang out in these corners. I'm amazed he hasn't come down a pit road.
I think you have a tendency to kind of try to overcompensate when you start struggling like this, and you drive a little bit harder, a little bit deeper, and it just hurts you more. Here's Pistorius on the inside for 8th. Oh, again, look at him working the wheel in that cockpit. And it forced the 9 car to check up and brought the 58 right into it.
Yeah, because the way he's driving it right now, he's one of the slowest drivers in the top 15. So he's really starting to lose some pace. You can see a lot of the guys stacking up in behind him now. So
yeah, this is almost an emergency situation for the 24 if he doesn't want to lose a bunch of spots.
Other than that, he needs to just get the tires cooled back down. Here comes Hayden Pistorius.
Pistorius wasn't able to get the power all the way down. And Bressy's way offline. He's up in the marbles here in turn 1 and 2, and it's still sliding around.
I think Bressy might be the caution here if he's not careful.
Once you get out of that groove and you're up in the marbles, you can see him already. That's not how you pronounce that word. But I don't know why I said that. But you can see the marbles forming just in that light gray stuff right out of the groove. So you get up there and it's like driving on marbles. That's kind of where that term comes from. So Bressy drops from 7th to 10th in a matter of laps. Meanwhile, for 2nd place, Welker and Buchanan continue their fight. And Buchanan's been sliding around almost as much, but has been a little bit more controlled about it.
Are you surprised we haven't seen a single car come down pit road?
Well, your prayers have been answered. Joel Holloway's down on pit lane.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell me, but he doesn't really count. I'm talking
wow,
more. I'm talking more. I'm talking about
him that later.
I'm talking about our front runners. Anyone in the top 10 really, but I'm surprised not a single. You would think, you get 1, 2, 3 guys come down their pit road by this point. Got the fuel on half because again, we've been green for quite a while now. I think a lot of guys are hoping for a caution that might not ever come out.
We've been green since lap number 7. But again, as the run goes on, the likelihood of a caution kind of increases because tires are getting more worn out, the aggression's picking up because the race is getting later. So I don't think we're going to see a caution-free race from our earlier restart. It's just a matter of when it comes out, and are you willing to, with the 76 slipping and sliding, are you willing to come in and pit and risk getting trapped the lap down? And now Buchanan going up in the marbles in turn 3 and 4. So we need to take a look. You can actually see near the bottom right of your screen the marbles that are collecting just off the racing line.
Yeah.
And if you get up in those, Finian, you're just going to go for a wild ride.
It really is just out of the bottom lane and a half, 2 lanes out. You start to get into the marble. That's where you saw Bressy really start to get where his condition on his tires started to get a lot worse. And looking back at Will Roberts now trying to hold off Simpson and McQuistion behind. And they've actually both caught up to, they've all 3 have caught up back to Fambro.
Yeah, Steve Herring way out of the groove in turn 4 up and then.
And even Fambro's been struggling. His last lap before this time by was 22.2 and ran at 22.2 again.
Oh, Roberts hard into turn 1. He had the thing cranked to the right to try to hang on to it.
Yeah, so Fambro's actually really off the pace right now. So I think these 3 might get on by him here if they can get the opportunity.
Dan Simpson entering high, going to try to maybe late apex and get up on a run on the 39 car. He actually clipped the curb on corner exit. Here comes McQuistion with a run.
Jess will have a look to the inside of the 46 at Simpson, but that's going to be all it is.
I heard someone get contacted somewhere. I heard a little ping in the background. Sound of metal crunching. Working 80 laps to go this time through, so we're well past halfway at this point, and still have yet to see a pit stop.
I know, it's kind of irritating me at this point. I don't know why. I'm no one's
hey, Buchanan's going to hit pit lane. And the prayers are answered.
This is a great decision, honestly. You're running about a little over a second in behind Johnson. Depending on when Johnson comes out, he might lose the lead here. You have to see.
So Buchanan and Fambro hit pit lane in the 40 and the 5 car. And see if anybody else joins him this time by. It looks like the leaders will stay out on the racetrack. And no one, there's Cardinale coming in. I think he came in a lap before as well,
yeah,
so I think he's coming in for a second time.
Yeah.
Bressy's in. So is Casey Shue.
And like clockwork, everyone hitting down onto pit road.
And so this is probably because they hit their number. They can probably go from here. Well, they definitely can go from here, rather, I should say. They've gone at least that far. Actually, this is the only pit stop that everyone's made so far, and we're well past halfway, so they can go all the way to the end. So Nick Johnson has led pretty much every lap so far. Is there anybody that can dethrone this? Because we're not going to see a teammate knock him out of the way, so who's the best shot?
Oh, honestly,
Fambro back down. Was there a penalty there for the 5?
Ooh, yeah, probably. I imagine speeding on exit.
Come back down to pit lane again.
That's gonna be really unfortunate for him.
Or he wasn't actually listed as stopping the previous time, so maybe he just missed his stall.
That's pretty odd.
So we'll come in this time again and get service.
Yeah, that's gonna effectively ruin his race.
Drop him well outside the top 5. Tyler Hensley into pit lane in the 44.
And there's Zach Buchanan now. He's coming back out into traffic.
I guess that's another big concern is, you know, you just pit. Are you in the middle of lap traffic or are you with lead lap cars? Now, what's that concern if there is one? And we are now 75 laps to go. And I like what Buchanan did, Finney. I like the undercut.
Yeah.
He just ran way quicker than the leader, more than a second faster. So he's going to come out of here as the leader, as long as he doesn't get held up too much, and he's going to be pushing the issue of some of these other cars.
Yeah, I'm sure some of these guys might be off to get away, because again, they're not racing the 40 directly, at least. They're kind of in their own race. You can see, sorry, he's just going to let Buchanan on by, because he's on a completely different strategy.
So how much time can Buchanan make up the outside? And he backs out just in time on the 93. Going to go the long way around.
Interesting.
The marbles, though, he's going to be able to, now he's got grip.
I was going to say, he has a lot of grip that he can just kind of hang it out there, and he's also going to get a nice exit to boot as well.
Well, the other thing about when you have fresh tires is they're not super hot yet, so they don't pick up those marbles quite as easily, and you can risk running out there a little bit more.
Yeah, look at the exit he gets, the off corner that he gets to the inside of Simpson.
He was still a second faster than Johnson, even with that.
Yeah, and that's navigating traffic. So this is a great strategy call, I think, for the 40. He's close to potentially getting himself back on the lead lap without even having a caution come out. So if something were to happen like that, he would be okay.
Yeah, Will Roberts kind of a break moved over to the inside to let Buchanan go the long way around. Dogger in pit lane in the 88. And now 70 laps to go next time by, and Johnson going to hit pit lane, and we'll probably see Welker come with him. Okay. Yes.
A lot of teammates down the 28, the 81, and 76.
Oh, the 81 a little slow on pit lane, and Welker getting held up here a bit.
I think Welker telling him, if you can't, please move out of the way from me.
Follow each other on pit. Wow, that is tight. Now they're on pit lane.
Honestly, it's a little impatient. I can feel his pain when you have someone ahead of you and they're going like a mile, 2 miles an hour below the speed limit.
Whoa, a little tight there with the 81 and 93 leaving the pits.
But yeah, like you're following someone in there, being a little bit cautious, and you're trying to, keep up as much as possible because you don't want to lose time on the racetrack. That counts.
Battle for the lead here, Roberts and Simpson. And if the caution comes out right now, that totally mixes everything up. That would be great for Buchanan at this point because he's back on the lead lap. But for Roberts and Simpson, they're hoping for a yellow at this point.
Yeah, actually, Buchanan's gotten past Nick Johnson. I'm curious to see what the Delta's going to look like. So Buchanan now coming out of turn 4, and Johnson, where is he at? Entering turn 3, so a decent gap, all things considered.
Yeah, it's going to be about a straightaway, is that not?
Yeah,
that's a huge lead. So just with that strategy call, it was 8 seconds that Buchanan put himself in front of Johnson. You're right, Finney. The undercut was the call there.
Yeah, considering how hard it was passing, but all three of those guys are running no skill, so there's similar pace, and I think Buchanan's got even, if not a little bit more pace than Johnson, so we'll see if he can stretch his legs here, trying to break away. See, Roberts is still a battle for the lead because they've yet to come down pit road.
1, 2, 3. Roberts, Simpson, Pistorius. Casey Lakatos is about 9 seconds back in 4th. Buchanan's the next car in line. Here's a pass for position. Simpson on the inside of the 39 for the lead.
Yeah, I think this kind of group of guys is the group that's kind of just hoping for a caution to come out.
And Johnson's behind all this, so these guys are still fighting hard for the lead, and Johnson's going to continue to lose time here behind these cars.
Yeah, kind of drew a short straw here.
Oh, he's going to go right around the outside of at least the 9 car. Now, the question is he going to be able to make up 8.5 seconds in 65 laps?
Well, I don't
think so.
Well, even if he can make it up, let's say he can, I think he honestly might be able to catch back up to Buchanan. You're going to spend a lot of time pushing these tires hard, trying to make that gap up, because 8 seconds is not an insignificant gap. And once you get there, we've seen passing's pretty hard. Well, as you're looking at Welker, he actually gets into Pistorius trying to make a pass. So that's what I was talking about. The passing's going to be pretty hard, and Buchanan did a great job jumping these guys on pit road.
So, working 65 laps to go now, and Zach Buchanan still has an 8.2 second lead over Nick Johnston. And a string of lap cars in front of him, but he will cycle out to be the leader as soon as this big group hits pit lane. But they have not decided to come down just yet.
Walker just trying to navigate this mess, and how much time he lost. Oh, is he trying to get around Will Roberts? Well, she's surprisingly in the way. And now going to let Walker go around the outside. So Walker lost a huge amount of time to Nick Johnson up there entering turn 3 now, so Welker's got 4 seconds to make up on the 28.
You can see the gap right there. Johnston across the line and Welker in the orange and blue car.
Then there's Bresci, the 24. He's coming out of turn 4.
For the lead again. Will Roberts to the inside now. That's the 5-car Fambro that's 4 laps down because he had to come down pit lane twice. And Vince, big slide for the 39 in turn 4. And they're going to come on corner exit, and Simpson will get the lead back. A bit of a push from the 5-car.
Roberts just kind of, wow, a big dive from Bresci out and behind to get around the lap car Wilco.
Yeah, Bresci would actually cycle out to be 4th. So his early pit stop had jumped a couple drivers. Because it'll be Buchanan, Johnson, Welker, Bresci in that order. And a caution right now for him would be awesome because he'd get the free pass. And look at this for second, Pistorius and Roberts.
But I can hear Bresci screaming internally, trying to help these guys get this sorted out, or at least let them on by.
Oh, 3 wide with the 10-car leading pit lane. Here he comes to the inside, and he'll take that opportunistic run. And past the 9-car, Peyton Pistorius puts him up into, well, won't stay in 8th place, but grab some track position. Very busy down on one end of the racetrack. You look from high above, it's much more packed on the back straightaway than it is on the front. And Zach Buchanan, you see on the back straightaway, just about to catch this group of cars. But between him and Johnston, it's still about 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's still over 8 seconds. But yeah, he hasn't made up that much time. And granted, it's kind of hard to. You've got so many cars in the way of him. It's kind of hard to gauge that and make up the time against Buchanan. He's actually caught up to this massive cars here.
Yeah, and he's actually going to lose quite a bit of time once he gets to them.
Depending on how willing they are to get out of the way.
Well, not very. They're leading the race and hoping that they get a yellow to keep them on strategy. We're running out of laps, though. Only about 20 minutes worth of racing left, and here comes Buchanan to the inside of his teammate. This is actually for position. And so through goes Buchanan.
Right there. Well, just kind of hanging out, just hoping for a caution. Hoping that he isn't a caution, although up ahead, these guys are 2 by 2.
Oh, boy.
Down into 3. It's Pistorius on the outside.
Whoa, look at Roberts. Wow. He's in pit lane. That's almost certainly a speeding penalty, though. He was in there pretty high.
I mean, I don't know. I was actually amazed he didn't hit the cone. I gotta look at a replay of that because that was really cool, especially from that angle.
There's a look at Roberts.
Woo. Oh, man.
The question is, did he actually make it inside the pit?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Commitment line.
Oh, the commitment line. Huh?
Oh, I don't know. If as long as you're to the inside of the cone, I think you're okay, right? I mean,
I don't know. It's
we're gonna see. You're gonna find out. Buchanan goes to second.
Because typically that's not a problem. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're not gonna hit the commitment line, you're not gonna hit the road at all.
Well, Will Roberts served his stop, and he's out and away, so it doesn't look like any penalty for the 39 car. And now, Zach Buchanan's only 1.6 seconds away from just taking the lead away. Outrace 66 of Holloway got roughed out of the way by the 44.
I'd be a little bit nervous here. So many cars. Here comes Okada's out of pit road as well. 3 wide for the second. Man. This is getting wild down here. There is the second place car, Buchanan. At the far left of that shot, that's your leader, Simpson, who has still yet to make a pit stop. Yeah, he's now lost quite a bit of time. It's 6 seconds between himself and Nick Johnson. But even Nick's going to have to deal with this mess of cars.
Okay, so now if Buchanan gets by Simpson, that's pretty much strategy over. Simpson has to come to pit lane. There's nothing he can really gain from staying out a whole lot longer. You see a big understeer up in the marbles, and Buchanan goes right, and the caution is out. Wow. Right as that happens, and I think it's Calvin Filarski, yes, on the back straightaway. And that's huge for Simpson because everyone's going to come back down to pit lane, and he'll get to stay on the lead lap. That was enormous for him.
Trying to look who else that helped out. Lee Machine, I think.
Yeah, he's on the lead lap as well. So here's the 2 car of Calvin Filarski. Was up in the marbles in turn 2 and probably just throttles up here with the marbles on the tires. And yeah, just that's all it took.
Oh man, Pistorius, and he just comes out back. He's like, damn, if only I waited another lap or 2.
And he's still sitting there on the back straightaway waiting for a clear track to get back rolling.
There he is.
So now everyone's going to hit pit lane, and huge for Simpson, who was actually running well before the caution anyway. And Liam Sheen also will be inside the top 10 here. Will get an opportunity to come to pit lane should he choose. So 50 laps to go, our second caution of the night, and Zach Buchanan. The only thing that's wrong about this for Buchanan is that now that huge lead he would have had over his teammate is now gone.
I still think, I think, you know, he's got the track position. I think that's going to matter the most, honestly, from what we've seen, especially considering these guys are willing to work together and not, you know, step over each other. Buchanan off the pit road first, Simpson second. Johnson going to end up in third.
All right, so a lot of drivers going to hit pit lane now. And we're going to see how this all cycles out here in just a moment. But it's 50 laps to go from Martinsville for the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. And we've had 126 laps and just had our second caution of the night. Very impressed with the field this evening.
Yeah,
Quality racing.
I don't want to jinx it, but I mean...
Oh, it's all going to hell now.
Yeah, they did a really good job so far.
Yeah, well
only
now...
two cautions in 125 laps.
Yeah, now you're going to dangle the carrot in front of their face. And
well, at this point, I mean, it's still a really good job.
Yeah.
Like, Martinsville tends to be, you know, a crapshoot.
You could only really have, you know, 6 or 7 more cautions at this point,
yeah,
which would honestly be a reasonable amount for a 175 lap race.
Yeah, at Martinsville. So it's like, yeah, it is a really good job no matter what at this point. It is one of the rare times we've seen a long green flag run at Martinsville, because these races again typically have a lot of short green flag runs.
So we're gonna wait to see how this cycles on, because the 76 is actually scored as the leader, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Is he on the lead lap?
You can just no.
Because maybe the 76, he didn't pit. The 76 did not pit. So maybe just trying to stay out. I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
So Buchanan gonna end up in second. So this is not entirely what he wanted.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to stay out and play some strategy, or he is, yeah.
Because again, if he pit, he would have been fourth in line.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good enough to win.
So I think he said, you know what, I'm just gonna stay out, hold the lead, hold lap. The difference on tire life is only 20 laps, which is not that much around here, to be quite honest. So it's gonna be intrigued by how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, is that? I mean, prediction. I don't think that's gonna work. But 20 laps isn't a ton.
Oh, okay, got extended.
Yeah, caution was extended for reorganizing the field. You can see it's a little bit chaotic right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw the pace chart go, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going green now.
We'll try this again next time.
Messed up. Yep.
Oh, I heard issues. Does the pace truck come back out for a quarter?
Yeah, I think he might. I think it might. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to just pass.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Well, he just teleported back onto the racing surface, so that was what the smash we heard was him morphing through the concrete pit wall. Now he'll peel off on the pit lane again, and we'll be coming back to the green flag on lap number 130 with 46 laps to go. Welker on the inside, Buchanan on the outside. Green flag back in the air, and a great restart for the 76. Buchanan going to hunt for the bottom lane of the racetrack. But the 46 turns it, but he somehow saves it. The 28 goes way up the track in turn 2.
Oh, and there's still 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Somehow there's no caution, but I think we might see one here. Johnson's stuck in behind Simpson. He's out of line, and he's going to get forced in the back here, but he's trying to fight for as much as he can through the middle, 3 wide and 3 and 4.
Wow, that was almost disastrous for Buchanan. He held on to it. What a save, by the way. And look who made it to third, the 24 car of Pressy.
Did I want Liam Sheen do? He poked his way up inside the top 5 here trying to fight. Bench for the win. Johnson going to go very defensive the inside to keep the 96 at bay.
Oh, I'm just really worried we're going to see another caution with how hard everyone's driving right now. But Buchanan back up to second place, 43.
Oh, there it is.
The 16 around the front straight away. Caution.
Belger involved as well.
Oh, more cars. The 10 car's going to get into it. Couldn't stop in time. You can see him, how hard he was trying to get that thing stopped, but couldn't make it. Third caution of the night. We're going to have time to go back and look at that restart here, but here's a look at the crash. It was the 88 that spins and turns the 16 around. David Mott Jr., unsighted, tries to stop, couldn't quite get there. Now let's go back and look at the restart, because it was quite the restart here. 40 didn't get a very good launch, and the 46 is going to just chuck it down in here. And wow.
That was almost exactly like when Bohr threw it up the inside.
Very much like it.
Gordon and Johnson. They didn't, these guys didn't spin though, almost did.
Down into turn 1 again. 46 just drives in a little bit deep and tags the 40 car. And I have to hand it to Simpson. He did lose some spots, but he drugged the left front tire through the dirt. What a great job they did to save it.
And also great job for everyone in behind reacting to it. They didn't, cause any more chaos.
There's another look. You see the 40 car out of control sideways, the 46 through the dirt. And then the 28 went way wide to try to miss all of it. Actually, right on board with, I think, the 9 car of Pistorius had a pretty good view of all this happening. I was able to grab a couple positions here in the short term. Pretty crazy restart. We're going to see probably a lot more of that as a couple drivers hit pit lane. But Buchanan needs these green flag laps to be able to pass the 76 Finian, and now he's got a non-teammate in the second row to the inside. It's going to get messy as we head down to turn 1 of the restart.
Yeah, interesting seeing how this is going to play out. I don't think probably too necessarily the best on terms with the 24.
No, again, these guys have had some issues earlier in the season, all the way back to Daytona. I think they've somewhat sorted out their problems, but Martinsville has a certain way of reigniting old rivalries. So,
yeah, so you know, if push comes to shove, I think
well, if push is going to come to shove,
there's going to be a giant.
It's not an if, Finian. It's going to be
a giant shove into the safer barrier. So we'll have to see here. The lap's starting to wind down. Under 40 laps to go here.
Yeah, it's only a matter of when we're going to have more trouble and with the leaders. I will say Buchanan did an excellent job. You see that left rear completely mangled from dealing with the front bumper of the 46.
The funny thing too, you can see it's even messed up. Is that the damage is covering up the fuel intake. Not that it actually affects.
This has happened before in the Cup Series in real life.
Yeah.
I can't remember what race it was. It might have been at Martinsville or Bristol or something, but someone got rear-ended and it completely mangled their fuel hose, because basically it's just an intake attached to a hose that heads to the tank. So they couldn't even fuel the car. They had to retire because they just ran out of gas. There was no way to refuel the machine, and you're not allowed to replace that part once the race begins.
Yeah.
All right, predictions. Who wins this race?
I think we can.
All right, you got Buchanan. I'm going to take the 24 car. I think he's going to come in here like a snowplow and shove everybody out of the way. But here we go. Green flag back in the air. We're getting down to nitty-gritty. At Martinsville, tangling.
Some of they avoided yet again.
Oh, the 24 cut the 40 a break. He let him in line.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that.
I'm shocked by that.
And Johnson trying to make the outside work, trying to defend that third place spot. Brett saying, nope, but you're going to stay out there, and he's trying to take the spot away.
Yeah, that actually might work with the 28 on fresh tires. You might be able to make that outside lane stick. Side by side through 1 and 2 again. 24 going to run the 28 up the racetrack. For the lead, though, Buchanan is running his teammate's bumper. And Welker's tasted victory this season. Buchanan has not, and he's really, really hungry for it.
Whoa.
And this is as close as he's been. And he's got a huge advantage. He's got 20 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, I am really intrigued in seeing what happens here. These guys are, I would pretty much consider them friends. I'm curious, you don't want to dump your friend, but...
Oh, I'm totally dumping my friend. What was it, Tony Stewart?
Yeah, I was just going to say dump it.
I'll dump your mom. My mom will dump your mom.
for a championship, yeah.
Oh, there's the touch already. The 40 leaning on the 76, and it's on for the race here at Martinsville. Caution.
Oh, before we can get that on, yeah, caution out on the back.
Casey Shue around in turn 4.
And some folk now. Let's see how that battle is going to go. That was just getting good.
Oh, a big spin back here. Here's a look as they entered turn 3. He had the 5 car of Fambro, the 46 in front of him. Gets in here, and the 5 going to, went for a gap, and it closed. See, he actually enters high. The 5 car tries to stick up underneath, and the 4 car comes down, and that's typical Martinsville wreck. Just people kind of disagreeing over spatial relations here.
Yeah.
Certainly on the 5 car for sure, but I'm sure they'll have a disagreement verbally about that.
It could be worse. I mean, on the bright side, at least, True only going to be back in 10th from that because there's still a majority of the field being a lap down. Thompson, Roberts, Passon, they all got the short end of the stick on strategy.
So Chad Simpson hitting pit lane here. There's only 11 cars in the lead lap. I like this decision.
Yeah, I mean, I guess might as well, but I mean, he came in not too long ago, so I don't see why he would.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. He was already back there. He might as well come on and get fresh tires and at least have an advantage over the guys in front of you slightly. They give him only a couple of laps, but Buchanan's got to be frustrated because every time he gets close, the caution comes out. Now, he's got a teammate in behind him now in that second row, but the question becomes, when do you stop cutting brakes to your teammate and when do you start going hard for that win? And I think we're at that point.
I am curious about how far they're going to go with it, because, you know, I don't think they're going to get to the point where you're going to dump your teammate.
I don't think you do it intentionally. It's certainly a possibility for an accident.
I think it's probably going to be, it's going to be one of those accidents, air quotes. But I think they might get physical with each other. I don't think they'll get to the point of dumping one another. Have to see, though.
Well, Buchanan, you know what he's actually, he might be doing up here, Finney, is cleaning off the marbles. You actually see how they're already cleaned up a little bit from the pace laps and everyone kind of running up there. After that long green flag run, we saw a bunch of marbles up there kind of coating that outside groove, and now, under caution, everyone picks them up with hot tires, and look how clean this middle groove is now. And look at Buchanan even going up into the middle. This is totally on purpose to clean up those marbles so he has a cleaner run down into turn 1. We'll see if he weaves up a little bit to get those marbles off before the restart.
I think I'm going to save that for later.
All right, coming to the restart, Welker chooses the bottom again. 30 laps to go at Martinsville. We've got 11 drivers on the lead lap, the last of which is Casey Lakatos in the number 50. Riley Thompson, the first driver, a lap down. Some of the field still getting organized back here as the pace truck pulls off. 30 laps to go from Martinsville Speedway for the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. Welker, Buchanan, Johnson, a Project 2 trio. Green flag back in the air, and Johnson goes to second immediately. Not a good restart for the 40. Down into turn 1. He gets into his turns it around, and then crash in turn 2. It's going to be a roadblock, and the caution is out. And the 28 upside down.
Okay.
Wow.
I guess they were going to dump each other.
What a ride there that Nick Johnson took. Let's go back and take a look. On the restart, the 28 took advantage of the 40's mistake, and Buchanan actually gets put.
Oh, yeah, he gets hit by Liam Machine, so that wasn't even on Buchanan.
No, then the 28 spins back around. He's going to catch the curb and the wall and just tip up and over. Went for quite the ride. Let's actually ride on board with the 96 of Liam Sheen here. Right there. There's the touch.
Machine went bowling.
Whoa! What a big roadblock. I'm actually surprised that there wasn't more carnage with that situation. We're going to try to pick up the 28.
Everyone did another wreck where everyone did a fantastic job avoiding. I mean, look at McQuistion did a great job just getting to the outside.
Right here, he's going to just catch the curb with the left front tire, and that's what tips it up and over. It's that super hard sidewall that we've been dealing with, but tips up and over. And
he got lucky he landed back on all four wheels. Could have ended up upside down.
But there's more trouble in the background. You see the 5 and 22 kind of getting together.
I did see Famber get some damage, so that's where he collected that from.
I want to run on board with Calvin Filarski because he was way at the back of this group and had a pretty good view of everyone coming to a halt. And look at Steve Herring pulling over. Wow, and what a view to see at Martinsville. So we'll get back rolling here. You see the 28 hits pit lane. So where's everyone cycling out? Welker, Bresci, Sheen into third place in the 96, then Buchanan, and Travis McQuistion in the top 5.
Yeah, I feel like now we're going to get to the point where I think a lot of guys are going to start getting pissy with one another.
Just now?
Well, I think
was the 28 car upside down in turn 2 not enough for you?
I think the 76 and the 4 are going to, and even the 28 for that matter, are going to be a little bit upset with Sheen at the moment.
Oh, for sure, but yeah. I don't think you care. I mean, this is as close you've been to winning a race, and if it comes at the expense of a couple people's feelings, this is Martinsville for you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying, again, we're talking about push comes to shove. We might see the 96 shoved into the wall, potentially, if he gets into some more antics here. And Bresci kind of by his lonesome. He's been kind of thirsty for a win.
25 laps to go. It'll be about 23 when we get the restart. Bresci's thirsty for a win, so is Sheen. Buchanan certainly is, but he's going to restart in 4th again. Then Travis McQuistion in 5th place. He has not tasted victory in a very long time, and he's only a couple rows back, so we might see him get up on the wheel for the restart.
When was the last time we've seen McQuistion? Trying to pull that up.
If ever. I don't know. It's been a long, long time.
Might have won at one of the lower series. I don't think we've seen him in the Cups.
1 to green. 23 lap run to the end of this race. And a very low possibility we get it done under green with the increased
Oh, he won at Dega in 2018. It was the fall fuel Rig Share Cup series.
Okay, I feel like I remember that. I do remember that. Been a little while though.
Yeah, it's been quite
almost
a while.
A year and a half for the 93. All right, Bresci on the outside. It's been the first time that a non-Project 2 driver has tasted the lead under normal non-strategy conditions, and green flag back in the air. 23 laps to go, and the 40 cuts down in front of him. Oh, he turns it again! And there goes the 24!
Bresci. Oh, man.
Caution! Oh, and he gets clobbered in the left front.
Yeah, we're gonna see good. Oh! Oh boy. Yeah, see, I was I was right. They were gonna get pissy with one another. There it was.
Wow. Let's go back and look at the restart here. That was a messy one.
I'm quite surprised that Buchanan went for the same move he did on the last.
Yeah, he cut down in front of the 96 again, and that was risky.
Yeah.
That's what turned the 24 around, and then we're gonna keep the cameras on these guys. The 40 car goes up the racetrack and gets a run off, and I think we all know what happened here. I have a feeling either that was a voluntary removal or an administrator removal.
Nah, I think it might have been Bulge. I think he knows that he would have gotten.
That was going to be a DQ either way, but you know, the previous restart he definitely was clear of the 96. I don't think he was clear there. So and again, we'll have to go back and look at it again. But we'll look at this again in slow motion here. We can kind of hyperanalyze this. And you really can't do this because things happen so fast. I mean, it's not really fair to hyperanalyze stuff like this. But let's just take a look and we'll maybe analyze it a bit better here. So the 96 is to the inside. Again, it's kind of on him again, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, Buchanan didn't pinch him. He still gave Sheen, you could argue he's kind of, trying to persuade him. Actually, he's actually...
Yeah, he actually is clear of the 96. So was this after... I think this is after the contact, though. Go back a little farther. But he has a run, and oh no, he's very much clear.
Some neck code involved.
Yeah, but
well,
it was
it still is going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, from that angle, you look from the front, it looks like the 96 was alongside, but here he definitely wasn't. And right there is the contact.
I definitely think this is on Sheen. However, at the same time, I do feel like Buchanan was kind of asking for that.
Well, the thing is, he did the same move on the previous restart, kind of got dumped and did it again. That's one of those situations where I think you trust the guy not to do it again, and you just can't. Things happen.
I am surprised that he didn't do anything worse to Liam Sheen. He only gave Sheen damage in the rear. That car is still perfectly fine. He definitely
came out with a big run, but there's 46 Chad Simpson getting into it. John Wilco unable to stop. But a wild tempers flaring moment here at Martinsville, like we typically always see. That time, I think it's the most temper we've seen here, maybe since was it Greg Evans last season? That was kind of barreling through people left and right.
Yeah. Well, this track typically brings out the worst in people. He's going to continue to do that for as long as he can drive it in the virtual world.
So I'm really curious to see the penalties after this race, because they're going to be very deep.
I think Will's going to have his work out for him this week.
So, coming back to the restart, it'll be just over 25 laps to go. Oh, excuse me, 15 laps to go, rather.
Can you imagine when the NASCAR thing comes here?
Oh, no. I stopped watching it because, look, it's a cool thing, but the drivers, they try to take it seriously, but the fact is they're just not good at it. I'm sorry.
Heard it here first.
The driver, like Kyle Busch, has been trying, and he's done a really good job. Yeah. But there's other drivers like Clint Boyer. I love Clint Boyer, but he's not good at iRacing, and it just makes it really hard to watch, especially at the short tracks. All right, here we go. 16 laps to go. Welker in the lead. Hensley on the outside trying to avenge his teammate. Green flag back in the air.
Gonna make it through turn one this time.
I think we have. Hensley's so close. Spin behind him.
David Mott gonna go sideways and gonna get clobbered from, I think that was Matthews.
Ooh. A little bit of a disagreement there as the caution comes back out again. Back and look at this. As Jeff Gordon would say, look at this. Ooh, that was Holloway that got the 10 car. Turn him around. Oh, Matthews didn't have anything to do with it. He just got into it. Holloway just charges in here and just locks it up. That's just typical Martinsville wreck right there. And too hot. Chance Simpson's race has gone from bad to worse. Still on the lead lap, still in the top 10, but was running up inside the top 5 earlier. And it just kind of caught up in wrecks. Mitch Welker is loving this right now because he's getting closer and closer to wrapping up a victory and putting him right back where he was at the beginning of the season.
I like Tyler Hensley too. And then we haven't typically seen him in the front as much as we would probably think. He's having a really good run tonight. Trying to just do a stat check on Hensley.
Start of 18th, running second. And hasn't had the best of luck in recent seasons.
He somehow, okay, here's an interesting thing. I need to resort it the other way, but he somehow has a recorded 51st place finish at Auto Club.
Well, that's impressive.
Oh, you know, I think that was when they were doing the
heat format.
Yeah, qualified, so it records everyone that entered. But yeah, it's kind of impressive at that point.
Wow. Okay, that was a sound.
Hensley's best finish was 4th at the Charlotte Roval. Here we go in May.
And look who's sitting in 3rd. Travis McQuistion.
Doug McQuistion, his last win came 2018 at Talladega in the Falls.
Everyone in the top 6 other than Welker would be a huge upset here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even Casey Shue, he hasn't made as much appearance as his teammates Bressy and Hensley, but he's been on board recently coming to this and running pretty well so far. And even Lee Machine in the mix as well. So.
I still think Welker's the favorite here because he's got the track position.
Absolutely.
And,
I think Welker's
now,
the favorite.
remember though, and again, I don't know if this matters because we got so many heat cycles on his tires, but he is all on older tires. He's been out for 58 laps, most of these those laps under caution. I don't think it's going to matter that much, but it could. If we go green these last 10 laps, it could matter. With drivers that are on fresher tires.
What's going to matter more is someone giving him the old boot down into one of these turns.
Yeah, so it's all about the restart then. Get out in front, get a gap so that they can't run into you.
Yeah,
Gonna need
at least try.
Yeah, well, we know how that's.
I was gonna say you can get as far as you can, but someone's gonna use you to make the corner, and you gotta hope that you're just far away enough from being in that position.
So, at times, see the railroad there. At times, this race has looked like a train wreck since the 3rd caution of the night. And
want to go to journalism with that line?
Most outstanding English student, Penfield High School, 2016. True fact.
That still is bad. I never got like those department awards.
I did. I got most outstanding social studies or most outstanding history student, and I don't even like history.
Yeah, I never got those, and my friends made fun of me for it.
Wow. I was making fun of people that were getting more than one award, and then I won 3.
Nerd.
All right, coming to the restart. It'll be 9 laps to go. Hensley right up alongside the 76. This is his chance to steal a victory. 9 to go at Martinsville. Green flag back in the air. And a great restart for the 76 of Welker. He's clear and free of the field.
Yeah, Hensley got a poor restart on the outside. He's now trying to fight with McQuistion to defend that 2nd place spot. But McQuistion trying to get his best shot of getting the lead if he can get clear of the 44.
Behind him, they're almost 4 wide out of turn 2. There's Nick Johnson trying to get something out of this night.
Oh, Cardinelli hard on the brakes. Dixon around in turn 3 and 4.
We stay green.
Up, and they've taken a break yet again, the racing officials, so we remain green. McQuistion still fighting with the 44 as Welker is driving away.
And I think McQuistion is probably the driver in best position to go run down Welker, but it's 0.6 of a second, and we have 7 laps to go. I'm not sure that's enough time. Bressy on the outside of the 58 of Riley Thompson. Now we have to keep an eye on the lap times. Welker at 20.6, McQuistion at 20.7. Will he close in next time by?
Yeah, McQuistion has some decent pace. I don't know if it's enough to catch the leader back. That's going to be pretty tough to tell because Welker's been in the top 3 all day long.
6 laps to go now for the 76 Project 2 car. Lap times 20.7, 20.7. Dead even, 0.7 of a second gap between the two.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is McQuistion's got to start eating to it at 10th a lap, and he needs to start swinging that now. He's running out of time.
5 laps to go this time through. It's 2.5 miles. McQuistion doesn't look like he's gaining any ground. He's actually losing a little bit.
Yeah, actually, this time by, it's going to expand a little bit.
Oh, almost dead even again. Couple hundredths of a second advantage. Here's Pistorius to the inside of Hensley for 3rd.
Side by side down the back straightaway, hard into turn 3 for both of them. Hensley's still trying to rip the outside to get clear.
4 laps to go.
Mid corner.
This time by. Whoa, car sideways. It's Liam Sheen. That time McQuistion was quicker, but he's not gaining enough time. For third place, Pistorius to the inside of Hensley, door to door as they exit 2.
Story is barely going to get clear of Hensley on the entry and going to try to set his sights potentially on the 93 as we're running out of laps.
3 laps to go for Welker, and he continues. He's still a little slower, but he's not going to get there, Finney. McQuistion just doesn't have the pace. He runs wide in turn 2. Behind him, a tap and a push, teammates together.
And I can't imagine they want to ruin a really good finish for them, and we'll see how they're going to run. For Welker's going to be a really good point save. I don't even think he cares about that at this point.
2 laps to go now, a mile left at the paperclip. McQuistion slower that time. And Welker won at Daytona earlier this season, sliding across the finish line. And has had a rock-solid season, a career season in the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. And he has a half a mile left to win another race this season and establish himself as a clear championship favorite. McQuistion closed again, but it's not going to be enough.
No, it's not. At least it'll be a solid second place finish for the 93, but for Welker, it's going to be, as he comes out of turn 4, win number 2 of the season.
Mitch Welker gets it done at Martinsville, survives behind him. The 58 will just beat Shu to the line for P5. And the rest of the field cycles on through. Outlasting the rest, outlasting the chaos.
Also, look how clean that car is.
Not a scratch on it.
Considering he was in the thick of a lot of messes, he was able to get that car back home pretty much clean. A little scuff on the right front, but looking better than a majority of the other cars out there.
And checkered flag waving for Mitch Welker, and Project 2 was in a position where it would be hard to lose this race. But it was hard to win towards the end there with all those drivers attacking. And he'll get to celebrate for the second time this season. And coming off of a disastrous run at Pocono a few weeks ago, getting into a wreck. And a return to form with second last week in Homestead. In victory lane again. Car Pistorius doing some burnouts on the pit lane. Welker cycling back around. Here is a look at your race results, Finney, and it was a wild one towards the end. Martinsville in typical fashion. Rearing its ugly head. For Zach Buchanan officially scored in 25th tonight after the contact with Liam Sheen, who comes home in 7th in the number 96 car. Deep breath.
Yeah.
We'll be back in just a couple minutes to talk to your podium finishers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to Sim TV. We're here now with our 7th place finisher, Liam Sheen, in the number 96 Toyota Supra. Liam kind of got messy there towards the end, but we want to give you a chance to talk about those couple restarts and the contact with the 40 of Zach Buchanan. But ultimately, still a good day for you. Top 10 result.
Yeah, I'll take 7th. Just those 2 restarts, Zach gave me like no head that, and I had to look at the replay for the second one that looked like netcode to me. But yeah, he gave me no room, and then he wrecked me under caution after, he pretty much chopped me twice. Like I was down there, I was 3rd, and he was 4th, and he just chopped me, and he just wasn't there. But where I was there, I mean, he just kept coming down. I mean, I think I get along with Zach pretty well. I mean, I just don't like sitting or having that happen. But then he hit me under caution and wrecked my car. So then I was lose the entire race. But other than that, the entire race I was around an 11th to 10th place car, or I guess speed wise. Didn't expect to get a caution there. I thought I was screwed because throughout the season I've been screwed on untimely cautions, but fortunately that went away there. Just didn't mean to get into the Zach there. Hated for Bressie. Me and him also get along pretty well. But yeah, it was pretty loose the entire, like as the tire run went on, but got some cautions there and it really didn't matter towards the end.
It was a top 10 run for the 96 of Liam Sheen. Liam, still a great run for you and a 7th place result. You gotta be pretty happy with that. So thanks for talking. We'll see you next time.
Yep, thanks.
Well, now to Zach Buchanan, the driver of the number 40 car. Zach, tonight, a really strong run. Thought you were in position to win the race, but the late race restarts, everything kind of crumbled away. Walk us through those 2 restarts with contact from the 96.
I don't know. Like it was a long race. I thought I was in a great position to maybe even win it if I could get around Mitch, but with how the season's going, it didn't take much for me to just completely lose it and do something stupid.
Obviously, this race we were expecting it to kind of go green at the end, and you would place yourself in a great position to just go out there and win the race. When the caution came out, that obviously just mixed up the strategies a little bit. Were you surprised at Mitch Welker choosing to stay out, and did you think you could have beaten him if the race had gone green from the end after that other race, the second restart of the night? Sorry, I can't find words this evening.
Well, first of all, I was kind of stoked that it worked in the first place because the 2 other times I pit mid-green run, a caution came out right after and put me way back in the field. So for once, I come out in first. I was surprised that Mitch didn't pit, but I did think if we were able to go green to the end, I could have gone around him at some point. So I don't know. Who knows at this point?
All right, a disappointing 25th place result for the 40 after a race-winning run up till about the 3/4 mark. Zach, thanks for talking with us, and better luck next time. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
To be frankly honest.
And Hayden Pistorius joins us, 3rd place tonight in the number 9 car. Hayden, it was a crazy result there towards the end, kind of dodging cars, spinning and sliding and crashing, but a top 5 run, you got to be pretty happy with that.
I don't even know what to say. I'm laughing so hard right now. But I don't know how I walked away with P3 there. From coming in from a lap down, I got screwed over by that one caution. The fight back all the way to P3, it feels real.
Tonight it got a little bit, we're kind of rough and tumble towards the end, those last couple restarts. So do you do anything different, or do you drive more defensively in those late race restarts to avoid yourself getting kind of punted at the end?
Well, I was watching everyone else be punted, so I was just hoping I was involved in it, but I was really, really hoping for a late race caution when I got into 3rd, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm desperate for a win, and I would have moved Mitch.
Hayden, it was a really solid run, 3rd place, and I gotta have a lot of confidence heading into next week's event at Talladega. So good luck out there, Hayden. We'll talk to you later.
Great, see you, Victory Lane.
All right, and Hayden, 3rd place tonight. 2nd place was Travis McQuistion. Travis, you got through Tyler Hensley there in the closing laps, but unable to close the gap. Do you need any more laps, more tire, more what to get to that 76?
Well, first off, that was just entertaining in general, but I'm not really sure if I could have actually caught him. I think he was on a little older tire, so I thought I stayed out in the 1 pit stop, but I'm not really sure. So if we had more laps, maybe, but he was pretty stout the whole day through practice, through qualifying in the race. So I don't know if I really had anything for him. I was just kind of hoping to pull away from 3rd and come home 2nd.
It's been about a year and a half since we've seen you in Victory Lane in the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series. It was back at Talladega in 2018. We head there next week. Is it time for a repeat out there?
I hope so. Those seem to be the only races that I have a shot at. So we'll do our best.
All right, Travis McQuistion, second place tonight in the Craftsman 93 Supra. Travis, thanks for talking. And now with our race winner, Mitch Welker in the 76. Mitch, that was interesting to say the least. A strategy call to not take tires and fuel and just stay out front on that second caution of the night. And then all hell just broke loose behind you. You held on, drove away to the end. What'd you see out the mirror of that car those last 50 laps?
Way too much shit. Kyle, sorry. Wrong language, bad language.
Sorry.
But, yeah, I feel really bad for what happened to my teammates there, specifically Zach and Nick, you know. They were right up there. They were giving me a big challenge. I was expecting to fight Zach for this win, but it just never happened. You saw what happened. Just too much crap going on behind me there. I'm just really happy to have been able to hold on and pull away with it and win, really.
So you have all these teammates tonight. We saw there was quite a bit of teamwork going on. What was the general consensus coming into the night? When were all bets off, and when were you guys going to fight out for the win, or was there no team orders and it was just solid racing from start to finish?
Generally, we agree to just give each other some room for the majority of the race. But coming to like 2 or 3 to go, that's when the gloves can come off within reason. You know, not dumping each other. But you know, we'll fight it out for stuff. So that would have been the plan. Zach probably would have moved me earlier than that. He was already bumping me when he was behind me there, and with like 30 to go. So yeah, that's about what we had, and yeah, just generally just trying to stay clean, stay out of each other's way, and stay out of wrecks until the end. But everybody got caught in crap before that.
Mitch Welker, another win for the 76 team this week at Martinsville. Mitch, good luck next week at Talladega. We'll see you later.
Thanks very much.
All right, I think we actually have an off week coming up.
Yes, we're off next week.
Yeah. So we're going to have a special event with Belly Up Sports sponsoring a race at Charlotte with the Cup cars next Tuesday. It'll be also at 9 o'clock Eastern. But let's have another look through our results here, Finian. What a wild night from Martinsville. Again, we saw the destruction derby there towards the end, and a couple drivers feeling very upset with each other, but that's just typical Martinsville. But we head to Talladega, where teamwork is of the essence, so we're gonna have to turn around your opinions, because a few weeks here to maybe rely on that guy for a win.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially seeing Liam Sheen, if he is going to be on the grid in 2 weeks' time at Talladega. He's always performed really well, if anything, on the super speedway
and could easily win that race. Yeah. And I guess the other question is, will we see Zach Buchanan on the grid? Because we know the penalties for that sort of thing typically are pretty severe and harsh. So we'll see if Buchanan will make it, and this could severely affect his point situation, because this could be a multi-week suspension as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We'll keep you in tune as we head into Talladega in 2 weeks. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Lorenzo Sports Car Challenge from Watkins Glen, New York. It'll be 7:30 p.m. We'll see you later. Have a good night.